Hey internet, it's Ray, it's me, and we're making stuff. Recently, it has been bothering me that you can see behind me I have a collection of electronics components, and this is not all of it, right? People give me boxes of stuff sometimes that's just like full of like, here's a bunch of cool transistors and switches. I don't have any, here it is. And it's been bothering me that if I don't make stuff out of all of these parts, that they will likely end up in a landfill eventually. So I want to make instruments out of them. It feels like a duty a little bit. I've started doing it, And I had a bunch of scrap parts laying around. Like I ordered Eurorack rails, and the guy got my order wrong and sent me stuff. So I made this little box right here. Those accident rails and the extra lumber I had laying around. It's just maple cheeks and plywood, clear polyurethane out of a spray can. Done. Nothing fancy. I'm not a good word worker. Don't ask me any woodworking questions. But anyway, I got to build a power supply for this thing. And then I don't know. I don't have a plan for what's going in it. I don't need this. Like my synth has about 50 HP of open space in it. So I don't need more space. Here's my question to you, to the 4 people who've made it this far into this video. Do you think I could pull off doing a Patreon page where the whole scheme is I use the Patreon money to fund building projects like this that I just give to people? I just give them away. That'll be sick, because I want to keep building this stuff, but I'm not a rich man. I can't afford to just put all my time into stuff and then give it away. I can't afford that. But I want to do that. So do you think I could trick people on the internet into paying for that? That'll be cool. What I really want is to do synths that are for friends of mine who are artists that I admire. I want to build them synthesizers. So maybe the Patreon would be a strike a balance between making stuff for, my buddy Josh, and then make another one that would just be a giveaway to the Patreon patrons, subscribers, whatever. I don't know. You think I could get away with that? Worst case scenario, nobody signs up, and then I'm exactly where I am currently. Anyway, this thing needs a power supply. I'm gonna clean my desk off and build it.
Yeah.
Here it is. And you may be thinking at first glance, hey, how come those big capacitors are crooked? And whoever designed this circuit board was a dumbass. That's why. It's just a little too tight for the capacitors I got, but it'll function. But I got little rubber feet, so I'm gonna put some rubber feet so these contacts don't end up touching the enclosure, and then use that hole and then a second one over here to screw it in, hold it in place. Tell you what, let's take a look at what this circuit actually does. Let's look at the schematic. All right, so here we are. This is not the exact schematic. However, it's close enough that we're just gonna go with this one because I don't have the schematic anymore for that one that I made. But it's pretty much this. Basically, you have a wall wart that is AC, 12 volts AC, not DC. Can't stress that enough. An interesting thing about these guys is that it says 12 volts, but that is not the peak of the wave. I think it swings around 17 or 18 volts, positive and negative. So we get that coming in here. And don't worry about the switch. This diode is gonna take all of the positive voltage and send it this way. And then this other diode is gonna send the negative voltage this way. So we get what we call rectification, where half of the wave in the positive goes this way, and the other half, the negative, goes this way. So we get like a flat and then the positive thing, and then the flat where the negative wave would go, and then a positive wave, and then the flat. And then what these capacitors do is they get charged up by that upward part of the wave, and then they boost it so that it spends more time up there, and then these capacitors keep it buoyed, and it just sort of flattens out almost. your positive voltage around the higher voltage you want. And then we got this guy right here. This is a voltage regulators. The 7812 is a positive. So what that does is it takes your inputted voltage. This is just ground for reference, you know. It takes your inputted voltage and then it outputs 12 volts, nice and solid. So what this is hoping to see is a DC voltage that is somewhat higher than 12 volts. And then this guy takes that sort of lumpy, sort of too high voltage, and it makes it the proper voltage, plus 12, and makes it nice and smooth, nice and flat, none of the lumps over here. These diodes we don't really have to worry about. They're for accidental current issues. And anyway, down here we have the exact same idea, but you know, inverted. Our ground is now actually a higher voltage than this node up here, because this is all of our negative waveforms. All of the troughs of our wall wart AC waveform come in here, and then just like this, our capacitors charge up and sort of smooth out that half sine wave that we get. And then this guy finishes the job, and we get our minus 12 volts. Now, my design also has plus 5 volts, which you can imagine is the same thing, but instead of a LM7812, it's a LM7805, because the last 2 digits are the voltage you get. And this 8 right here means positive, this 9 means negative. Like and subscribe. Do it. Hey, could you just click on like and subscribe, you know? I'm really trying to make stuff out here. I'm trying to make stuff. And, like and subscribe. I like making stuff, but, now you're supposed to go subscribe. Do me a favor. Just click on those buttons, all right? Could you? Thank you. Like and subscribe.